Number one would be prioritize your sleep. Make sure you get into a really good sleep routine, no iPhones and, meditation, things like that to get into a good sleep. Keep up the water, which I've mentioned. Move daily, whether it's a 10-minute walk or just something, just to go for a 10-minute walk so you can just switch off with whatever's going on around you at the moment. Lift weights, eat your protein-boosted meals, monitor your symptoms as a really key thing, because you might see a pattern of some things happening. So then if you need to, present them to a GP. And another really key thing is to keep up with your regular checkups at your GP, and also to be social. Meet up with a like-minded woman so you can talk about each other and share stories, and you realize then that, hey, you're not suffering from all these things and challenges on your own.
Welcome to the Property Management Podcast. I'm Kylie Walker. Thanks for being here. Today we're diving into a subject that is deeply personal to me. It's menopause. And this isn't just a topic I care about. It's one that I have lived through. My journey with menopause started in my early 20s with mood swings that left me feeling completely lost, and I actually thought I was going crazy. Back then, no one talked about menopause or perimenopause, and the support I needed just wasn't there. I'll never forget one visit to a doctor, a woman no less, who told me I should go shopping, but not actually buy anything because that would just make me feel worse. Instead, she suggested that I walk around the shops and dream. I kid you not. It was laughable, and sadly, it showed how little understanding there was for what women like me were going through. Over the years, I've experienced all the symptoms: night sweats, hot flushes, irregular periods, mood swings, you name it, I've had it. And I know I'm not alone. The truth is, many women feel clueless about what's happening to their bodies, and it's no wonder the medical support can feel like it is so lacking. But that's why I'm so passionate about changing the narrative and bringing awareness to this stage of life. Today, I'm joined by the amazing Carolyn Broomfield, a personal trainer and nutrition coach who's dedicated to helping women navigate menopause through exercise and healthy eating. Carolyn has her own inspiring story of transformation, and together we'll be talking about practical ways to manage symptoms and feel empowered during this journey. Carolyn reevaluated her own health habits. She transformed her lifestyle, losing 30 kilograms, and found a renewed sense of vitality. This journey inspired her to help other women achieve their health goals, especially during menopause. In our conversation today, Carolyn will share the importance of exercise during menopause, nutritional strategies that will help support hormonal balance and energy levels, and some personal insights around her own story of transformation. And if you've ever felt unsupported or unsure about menopause, then this episode is for you. Or if you're a male listening and you want to know what perhaps your partner, wife, mother, in-law, sister is going through, then this is an episode for you as well. And I want to let any of you know that you're not alone, and there are tools and strategies that can make a huge difference. So let's dive in and start the conversation we've needed for so long. Carolyn, thank you so much for joining me on the Property Management Podcast. Now, before we dive in, can you share a little bit about yourself and how you got started doing what you're doing now?
Thank you so much, Kylie. Okay, so back in 2008, I'd had a massive wake-up call about my health. I was really overweight. My previous business had just wound that down. I discovered that had been so busy raising my own kids and so involved in the community that I completely forgot about myself. Then menopause started, and at that time I was like a size 24. And I thought, holy moly, I've just got to do something. And then a very close friend passed away very early from cancer, and I thought, and it really shattered me, and I thought, I've got to really do something about myself. So that moment changed many things for me. So I began taking control of my life. I joined a gym. It was one of my biggest fears of walking into a gym and feeling that overwhelm that so many people do get. And So I did that, and 10 or 12 months later, I'd lost 30 kilos. And then, because I worked with a personal trainer, and then I decided to change careers and I became a personal trainer myself. And so now I help women like myself from age between 45 to 70 plus who are feeling really stuck in their life and overwhelmed and intimidated by the traditional gyms. So my mission now is, and I know how scary it can be for many and they feel so lonely. I have created a really safe space in my gym at home where we have a lovely space on 2 acres where women can take control of their life and find hope again.
That is amazing. And, our community here in this space is largely women in property management who are busy running, and working mums as well, busy running careers. Property management's a very demanding job, and they're often people pleasers. And I know you well, so I know that you are that people pleaser and looking after everybody else. And so they will really resonate with your story in that, putting yourself last, and, your body does let you know when enough is enough, doesn't it? So, and I'm assuming a lot of your clients that you're working with have come to you out of, in dark places and needing your support.
Absolutely. So a lot of us come to get strong. Some are suffering depression, some cancer survivors, some have lost a partner, some are really destitute and they just don't know where to start. They get confused about what to eat. They don't know what to eat. And what I find, a lot of women our age or postmenopausal forget to eat breakfast. They don't know what to do. They don't know what protein is, to be honest. They just don't know where to start. So that's where I come in and guide them, because I do have a lot of I'm not a nutritionist or a dietitian, but I've had done a lot of studies that qualify me to write their programs for you. But I also go back to rewind a little bit, that when I was going through and in that perimenopausal stage, I suffered a lot of anxiety and depression. And I found that alcohol was my addiction, if you could call it that. And it just numbed that feeling of feeling worthless, because you do when you start going through getting the hot flushes and you're not sleeping and rah, rah, rah. And can be quite traumatic. So I just wanted to share that little bit extra.
Yeah. And alcohol's a double-edged sword, isn't it? Because you're not sleeping well from menopause anyway. And then you're having alcohol, which is again, making the sleep deprivation worse. You're waking up. And I use alcohol as well. I can totally, and I have admitted that many times, that's my tool to numb out. And in fact, I'm just on 3 weeks without alcohol at the moment.
Oh, well done.
Yeah. Just to give my body, it was breaking down. Like I just shared with you before we jumped on, I've had a flu that I can't shake. I've got some infections. I've got something wrong with my foot. I don't even know what it is. And I'm just really feeling unwell. So the first thing I did was to cut out alcohol, and I'm slowly starting to feel a lot better. And I know a lot of women in the property management industry as well, they do go home after a stressful day and alcohol is the thing that they turn to. And that's really inspiring, your journey. So could you please share with us a little bit about the transformation that happened for you? And I'm assuming the transformation wasn't just the weight loss, it was also how you started feeling about yourself and showing up in the world as well.
Sure. So I was a size 24, and so buying clothes was really challenging. And in fact, I got a lot of my clothes made because I couldn't find the right fit. So when I'd lost my 30 kilos, shopping was really interesting, because I'd walk into a shop and I'd still go for the big sizes, like a triple XL. I'd pick them up and I'd go, oh no, I'm not that size anymore. And so I'd back it down. So I'm a size between 16 to 18. I kind of float a little bit. I do have a lot of weight challenges. It's in my genetics. So I have a gene mutation, which actually presents itself where my body doesn't detoxify very well. So I have to really look after myself. So for me, I was able to do lots of things with my grandkids. I went not scuba diving. What do you call it? Snorkeling at the Great Barrier Reef, and I was able to get a whole wetsuit on. If I'd been a size 24, I would never have been able to experience that opportunity on the Great Barrier Reef. So that was one thing that stood out for me. And the more confidence I had, going to parties was still a challenge, because I had really dialed back on the alcohol. And then now I just drink low alcohol wine. Then there are so many varieties of zero or a low alcohol wine these days that you don't have to drink the full strength. Yeah.
That's amazing advice. Now, let's dive into menopause, because menopause sucks.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. And I'm in the thick of it right now. And no one talked to me about it until I've landed smack bang in the middle of it. And for me, perimenopause probably started, now I look back on it, probably started in my early 40s. And I honestly thought I was going crazy. So and then of course, as you get further into it, the hot flushes, the night sweats, the mood swings. That's probably been the biggest symptom for me, has been the mood swings, which made me feel like I was going crazy. And I would just go from calm to absolutely losing it with anyone that was in my path. Are these all common experiences for women? And, why is it not talked about more frequently?
It's a really good question, because I don't know why it's not talked about. I think it is now. It's becoming more and more talked about. But symptoms are just huge, like anxiety, depression. The sleep is huge. People feel unusually tired, and crawling skin, low libido, dry skin, dry eyes. I've just started to get dry eyes. It's a menopause thing. And, I feel like I've got sand in my eyes at times. And also that feeling of low self-esteem and feeling unloved because of what you're going through. And I was very lucky that I had a very understanding husband. A lot of women don't, and a lot of men don't, or I don't know a lot about menopause, and I don't know where to go for help. And I see a big market there for educating men on how to cope with their partners going through menopause.
Absolutely. So what are some of the ways then through your training and nutrition that you help women going through menopause?
So the reason I went into personal training was I could see how I benefited from the strength training and nutrition. So protein is huge. I mentioned it before. A lot of women do not know how much protein they need to have in a day, and that varies depending on your lifestyle. And a lot of women don't even know what protein actually is. And that really surprises me a lot. So I kind of monitor that with my ladies that I train to make sure that they are eating quality protein and the right amount of protein, not just a little bit of yogurt, because that's just not, this doesn't have enough. Like drinking lots of water is key. Prioritizing your sleep is another one. A lot of women struggle from sleep. I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning sometimes, and that's it for me for the day. And then you're tired at 10 o'clock in the morning and you can't go to sleep because you've got stuff to do. So, lifting weights is key. Exercising, walking in between lifting weights. So I strength train. That's what I focus on with my ladies, is lifting weights and building strength. And in between the days that they come and see me, I get them walking.
So biologically, I think is the right word for it. When women are going through menopause, it's basically our estrogen and progesterone levels are drying up or fizzling out. And the strength training is really important because for our muscles and our joints, or to protect our joints, isn't it? If you're ready to be a super organised, focused and productive property manager, buckle up, because Colmio is about to revolutionise the way that you work. Colmio is the driving force behind property management excellence in residential real estate. Now picture this, a comprehensive end-to-end system designed to be the beating heart of your property management tasks, manage your properties, owners and tenants, and handle payments, inspections, and even marketing listings without leaving the platform. Colmio is designed to be an all-in-one solution to all your property management needs. And here's the game changer. Colmio isn't just software. It's been awarded the most innovative prop tech scale up in 2023. Yes, you heard it right. Colmio has been recognised for their groundbreaking approach to property management software. How good is that? So property managers, whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, dive into the future of property management with Colmio. You can book in a demo with the team today and go in their weekly draw for a Prezi gift card worth $100. All you need to do is to head to the link colmio.com/thatpropertymum, and Colmio is KOLMEO.
Yes, to protect our joints. So if we've got good muscle mass around our joints, that's your protection. So I just want to share a really interesting fact. These are US. Can I share this here?
Yeah,
This is
yeah, yeah. Yep.
US fact. So in the first 10 years of menopause, we can lose between 10 to 15% of our muscle mass, which affects the ability to recover from a fall. So we're more prone to falls, post 50 years old. I can tell you I've had a lot. So low muscle mass dramatically increases the risk of osteoporosis. Now I'm going to read this because I want to make sure I get my facts right, but this will kind of really shock you to know that 50% of women postmenopausal will have an osteoporosis fracture before they die. 50%. And this is almost completely preventable from your strength training and diet. So osteoporosis is where you lose the density within the bones.
Mm-hmm.
So during menopause, our bones become weaker and more likely to fracture when we fall. So here's the kicker. If someone falls or breaks their hip in menopause, 30% of women who have surgery will die within the first year. 70% will die without surgery, and in that time, they are in horrific pain. Now, these have come from a Dr. Mary Claire Haver in America, and this is from her information. So these are statistics that she has provided.
It's shocking, isn't it? And it is preventable, eating protein and doing that strength training. I'm a huge advocate of strength training. I didn't used to. I was always a cardio girl. But as I have hit my 40s, I have really invested in my health in terms of weight training and lifting weights. And not heavy weights, but just consistently 3 times a week lifting weights. So I think that is, real shocking statistics.
Yeah.
But it's amazing that it is preventable. And it's never too late to start either, is it?
No, it's never too late to start. I've got how many have I got? About 3 70-year-olds I'm training. Yeah, and they're pretty strong, and it's not always about the strength, like the heaviness. I do advocate heavy is best, but not everybody can lift heavy. And it's just consistency, not, weight training once a week is not enough. It just doesn't cut the mustard. Oh.
And do you think by looking after, doing some physical exercise and weight training and addressing your diet, will that help with a lot of the other symptoms of
Yes.
menopause as well? Or do you think women should still do HRT as well? I mean, I know everyone's different. I do HRT and I found a major benefit in my symptoms and how I was living by going on to HRT. What are your thoughts around that?
I find that no size fits everybody. HRT suits some, HRT doesn't suit some. A lot of people advocate intermittent fasting. I personally don't. It doesn't work for me, and I have seen it not work for my clients. So there are so many benefits, particularly the mental benefits for weight training. I see a big shift in some of my clients when they start training. They've come to me, they're stressed, they've a hugely stressed life, and the weight training, strength training, resistance training, there's all sorts of different types, really benefits their mind health. That's, to me, is as important.
Oh, I absolutely totally agree. So if someone was listening and they are either in perimenopause or in menopause, postmenopause, what is your best advice for anyone going through that?
Okay, so number one would be prioritize your sleep. Make sure you get into a really good sleep routine, no iPhones and, meditation, things like that, to get into a good sleep. Keep up the water, which I've mentioned. Move daily, whether it's a 10-minute walk or just something, just to go for a 10-minute walk so you can just switch off whatever's going on around you at the moment. Lift weights, eat your protein-boosted meals. Monitor your symptoms as a really key thing, because you might see a pattern of some things happening. So then if you need to, present them to a GP. And another really key thing is to keep up with your regular checkups at your GP. And also to be social. Meet up with a like-minded woman so you can talk about each other and share stories and, you realize then that, hey, you're not suffering from all these things and challenges on your own.
So basically 50% of the population is going to go through menopause, right? And I love that you just gave that advice on finding some like-minded women, because I know that my group of women, I never heard my mum talk about it or my grandparents talk about it, but my group of friends that I've got now that I go to the gym with or I socialize with, we're all in the same stage of life and we're all got different symptoms and we're all going, and it just normalizes it. And I think that is, really valuable advice, finding those people to work with and to connect with in
Yes,
this stage of our life.
I like to encourage my ladies that I train that menopause, yes, it's a challenge. We all have to go through it, but let's think of it as a positive thing and try and find the positive things out of it. That's one thing that I like to think about. I'm like, oh, woe is me, I've got a hot flush, and woe is me, I'm feeling tired today and I've got the dry eyes. Let's just turn it around and think of it that a little bit more positively. And yes, we all have to go through it at some stage. It's unavoidable.
Absolutely. I love that. That's great advice. I am a huge advocate of personal development. Can you share with our audience a little podcast, book, or something that you just shared some statistics from an amazing book. Share something with our audience that might help them through this stage of life or other stages of life.
So there's an amazing podcast by Dr. Mary Claire Haver and also Dr. Lisa Mosconi. This is an amazing book. It's called The New Menopause by Mary Claire Haver. I bought it from Big W. It is incredible. It's very, very helpful. So there's great YouTubes from her that I listen to a lot through the Diary of the CEO. He interviews her a few times, I think, and Lisa Mosconi as well. So those would be my favorites.
Amazing. Thank you for that. And I do love Diary of CEO. It's one of my favorite podcasts.
Yeah.
And I am in the throes of doing a lot of research on menopause at the moment and helping navigate through that. And I know it's funnily enough, a lot of people that women I've connected with in the last few months have all seemed to be going through a variety of menopause symptoms. So yeah, and it's nice that people are, openly talking about it. And we've had a few menopausal moments in this episode where the brain fog has hit us and we've forgotten what we're going to say, that they will be edited out. But please know, anyone listening, that we have had our own menopause symptoms, brain fog, during this episode, and we've had to keep going. So it is real. If you do forget what you're saying mid-sentence or forget people's names, it is a real thing, and it is a menopause symptoms. Now, Carolyn, how can somebody reach out with you who might want to learn more about some of the amazing work that you do with women in this space?
Sure. I've got a website called newhorizonfitness.com.au. All the details are on there. I'm always available for a chat. If I can't pick up the phone or I'm busy, I will return your call. I actually love the real, give me a call. I'm happy to talk to people. I don't care if they're just calling me, what can I do? I'm having a hot flush, and I can probably recommend sage tea, just some little things like that. I'm happy to chat.
Beautiful. That's amazing. I will share all of your links and contact details in the show notes. Thank you so much for joining me on the podcast. You've done an amazing job.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, Kylie.
I'm super excited to share today's podcast sponsor, HD&U, with you. Having met Stuart Hayes and worked with him on the show, I know firsthand how passionate he is about transforming workplace dynamics for real estate teams. With decades of expertise, HD&U creates unparalleled team experiences that elevate both well-being and performance. They make leadership simpler, smarter, and more effective by focusing on the needs of people and the goals of the business. HD&U doesn't just develop leaders, they build empowered, cohesive teams that truly understand how to work together for maximum impact. Whether it's streamlining processes, boosting morale, or unlocking new levels of productivity, HD&U equips real estate leaders with the tools to lead with confidence and clarity. Hallelujah, that sounds amazing to me. Experience the future of team success with HD&U, where better work really does begin. And here's something special for That Property Mum listeners. HD&U is offering an exclusive team and culture-focused survey, complete with an analysis and a one-on-one debrief with Director Stuart Hayes, all for an incredible price of just $750. Head to the show notes to find out more. Can I ask you a quick favour before you leave this episode? Now, we all know how important reviews are for businesses these days, and mine is no different. If you could spare just a minute to follow, rate and review this podcast, it would mean a lot to me. In fact, what would get me super excited is if you share this podcast with someone in the industry who you think might need to hear some of the episodes right now. And if you'd like to find out more about working with me or any of the products I have to help you start, grow or scale your property management business, head to my website, thatpropertymum.com.au, or check out the links in the show notes.